All right, and we're back. And then this time we're going to add a scoring system to our racing game so we can get it almost finalized. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it this time. And the first thing that we need to add here is the race checkpoints. So we need 2 of them. So same place you're going to get it from your um, here Fortnite and then the devices folder, but you can just type in checkpoints. Oops. And there you go, a race checkpoint right here. So you're going to need one right here where the race starts. This is how we know when the race starts. And we're going to need both of these actually. So let's go ahead and make the checkpoint. And on the right hand side, we need to set the options for it. So for the options for the checkpoint, what we're going to do is we're going to set the checkpoint number to 1. So over here in checkpoint number, which you'll see the advanced options is what you want. Checkpoint number, this one's going to be number 1. And it's going to be the same thing for the second player as well. But let me show you how we'll do this. The next thing we need to do is visible prior to start. We want that to be no. So let's type in visible prior to start and we'll set that to no. Okay, now you can do that. You can have it visible if you want to prior to the start, but I mean, that's on you. So I'm just going to drag this like right here in the car. This is where the race actually starts. What else do we need? Always or allow players to pass. Let's do that one. Allow players to pass without their vehicle? No, because we want them to be in the car when they pass that. Let's see, enable, how about the phase? So we want this enabled during phase to be gameplay only. Alright. That should be good. The other thing we need to do is activating team though. There should be an activating team. Yep. And you want to set it to team 1. You can have it on any team, so it'll do both the teams. But I'm going to set this one for team 1 because they told us to have 2 checkpoints. So I'm going to drag off the second checkpoint. Just put it right beside it here. They're going to be right inside of each other. But the second one, I'm just going to set to team 2. Cool. All right. So now that's it with your checkpoints. Now we need to add a. What you could do is you could put more checkpoints, but if you do put more checkpoints throughout your map or throughout your track, you need to make sure that you change that checkpoint number that we set at first. So this checkpoint number, if you put another one, make sure it's checkpoint 2, right? All right. So next thing we need to add is called a score manager, and right here. This device right here, this is going to allow us to count the points needed to win the round. So I'm going to put my score manager down there. Wait, I don't think it went. Let's go ahead and put it out there. And you want to go ahead and set some values for it. So let's go ahead and put the score manager right here. And we'll set some values for it. So the values that we'll set over here are in advanced. And the only value we need to do is say the score value, which we need to set it to 1. Which is already on 1, so we're good there. So it's going to give you 1 score each time you pass that. Each time you pass the checkpoint, it'll give you 1 plus 1, basically. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is add something called a race manager. So the next device is called a race manager. There you go. Put this in here too. All right. And what this is going to do is going to set how many laps it takes to finish, to finish the whole round. So we'll put this right here, and what we need to do is set this. So the number of laps, like we said before, was going to be 3. And start race on game start, we need that to be false. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. So now that we've got the race manager, we've got the score manager, we've got our checkpoints right here in the level, so that player 1 and player 2 can do the checkpoints, and it'll be different. Next thing we have to do is set up the event binding for all of these things. So we can bind all of these things that we made, so all these triggers, and we need to make them all work together. So we can do that in this episode, and that will literally finish the race car game. And you'll have a race car game. And maybe at the end of this episode, I'll show off my track in like a cinematic mode. But anyways, let's go ahead and finish it up, because it's not that much more to go. So first thing we need to do is, if you remember how we did the direct binding when we did the capture the flag game, this is going to be the same thing, kind of. Like when we were doing the locks for the door and all that stuff, this is that. Alright, so first thing we need to do is get the car spawner 1 and the car spawner 2. So that would be, not the barrier device, but inside the barrier device there's a car spawner, and this is our number 1. For the functions, we need to assign the driver. So down here in the functions, assign driver, and you can press plus. And this needs to be player spawner 1. So if you can type in player spawner 1. And what they need to be doing here is on player spawned. So there it goes. So that one should be set up. Now you set the second one up for player 2. So click on your car 2, and this is player 2. Not the checkpoint. I got the checkpoint. Let's see if I can get the car. Not the barrier. Alright, there you go. I got that. Now, same thing. Just come down here in the right-hand side. Assign driver. Boom. Press that. And then you want to go to player spawner 2 this time. There we go. And you want to say on player spawned. Wow. So now they're going to be assigned to these cars. Okay, the next thing we need to do is set up this trigger 1 and 2. So wherever you put your triggers at, which are these things, come and find these things, and we need to set them up too. So for my trigger 1 right here, we need to come on the right hand side all the way down, and on trigger, this is where we need to add. And what we're going to add is car spawner 1. So mine will be sports car spawner, and the function that we're going to add for that is on player exits vehicle. So you should see one on player exits vehicle. So then that trigger will fire off. And you need to do the same thing for the second trigger. So trigger 2 will find trigger, and we'll find car spawner 2. So mine again, sports car spawner 2, and when player exits vehicle. Perfect. Now we need to find the vehicle barrier. Okay, so the barrier is over here. This one for barrier 1. We need to come down here and click disable, press the plus sign, and we're going to disable it when the timed objective, so find timed objective. So when that is completed, so as soon as the countdown finishes, this box would be disabled and they'll be able to move. So let's go ahead and say on completed. Boom. Do the same thing for the other box. So disable, find timed objective, and say completed. Alright, we're almost done. Next thing you need to do is find your race manager. So for me, that's this one right here. Now on the race manager, you want to come down here, and where it says start race, you're going to find the timed objective. Bow. Alright, and then you're going to say on completed. So that's when the race will start. So the barriers will go down and the race will start on when the timed objective goes off. And the last thing you need to do is for your score manager here. So click on your score manager and activate. So there should be one called activate bow. Press that, and we need it to activate every time the checkpoint goes off. So checkpoint and on completed. So on checkpoint completed. Now, for me, since there's 2 checkpoints in there, and they're for different teams, I'm going to do another one here. And it's going to be the same, pretty much the same thing. So, let's see. 0 and 1. This is going to be my checkpoint 2. Pop. And on checkpoint completed. Perfect. Now, all you got to do now is save everything that you've done, and you have a complete racing game. And you can go back and set the boost and set all the things and do your track however. But one suggestion is I wouldn't build my track this big. I wouldn't build my track this big because like when I tried to play test this one of the times, it was taking up a lot of memory. But it's nice. Anyways, like I said, I'm about to play a little cinematic video of this track, and then you guys got a full racing game. Thanks for joining me in this short series. I know it was short, but it was pretty cool because we learned how to do some car stuff inside of Unreal Engine for Fortnite. So, appreciate y'all's time and attention, and I'll holla at y'all next time. Peace.